Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast live Sunday night NFL wrap-up edition. Yes. And looks like we got only a few people. We don't have anyone in the chat right now, so we're just going to hang on a couple minutes, see if we get some in, and then we'll go ahead and do what we do. So in the meantime, what's going on, Transformer?
Man, I'm having a good Sunday, preparing for Veterans Day, man. So happy early Veterans Day to you.
That's right.
We're going to be bringing it in together, brother. Navy and Army.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Can't get better than that, can it?
Can't get better than that.
That's right. That's right. And you only got, about another month till we put that cutting on y'all.
Relax. I am in the chat. Put some respect on my name. I see you, Steve.
Saying, man. I'm just saying.
I see you, Steve.
I'm just saying. Steve was good, man. Good to see you. Yeah, so let's see. We're gonna, as usual, go through our run through of the slate of games that took place in the NFL from Thursday night up until the game that just finished. We definitely had some barn burners this week, man. There's some good games and had some upsets and whatnot. So we're gonna go through and see how we did and all that. So we'll just take a couple more minutes and then we'll go ahead and we'll get started. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and do the spiel. You know what it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait. So yeah, we're gonna go over these games, man. It's been pretty entertaining, really a great NFL season so far, man, and just keeps getting better and better. Just so you know, Transformer, I just want to drop this little nugget on my other monitor here because I got YouTube TV, so you can subscribe to the different sports or teams or games you want to watch or whatever. Yeah. So on the other one, I'm just replaying Notre Dame, Florida State from last night. So
All right, man. It's been a pleasure, y'all, man. Y'all be easy. Y'all be easy, man. I'm gonna let you do the rundown by himself. All right, y'all. Be easy, man. Go Lakers.
Did the Lakers win tonight? Did they play tonight?
They're winning
okay.
Right now. Winning.
That's what's
up 14, 7.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. I don't even know.
Another triple-double.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. I didn't even know if the Celtics won today, man. I couldn't even tell you, man.
They won by 6. They beat the Bucks.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Jokic had 37, 18, and 15 today? Good God.
Yeah, Giannis had 43, but that didn't phase y'all.
Well, do what we got to do. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here with our NFL wrap-up. But before we do, I just want to take a minute to say something. For those of y'all who were with us last night on the show, as always, appreciate you being here, man. And I want to personally apologize for the show going off the rails a bit. It can get kind of, how sports talk goes, right? Whether you're in the barbershop, whether you're with your boys or whatever, you guys can have differing opinions, and it can get fiery, it can get passionate, and that's the nature of sports, man. But the beautiful thing about sports is we can get fiery, we can get passionate, we can come right up off that, man. So y'all saw me and G going at it a little bit last night, but hey, that's still my brother. And for those of y'all that have brothers, sometimes you and your brothers fight, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And G and I.
Just so y'all know, we stuck online for like 30 minutes afterwards, like talking, hashing it out, going over what we went through, guys. So it's all love at the end of the day, man.
Definitely. Love. Yeah, we get passionate when it comes to this sports thing, man. And G and I, we've been brothers since 2006. Literally, we sweated and bled together. So that's a bond that is not easily broken, and Transformer could tell you about that. That bond that you have with your brothers in arms, your brothers that wear that uniform, that's a different thing. And not a lot of people can truly understand what that is. So Me and G, we're all good. It's no problem. He had some stuff to take care of tonight. He'll be back with us Wednesday. That's what he told me. So everything's gravy. I just wanted to come on here and let y'all know that, man. We strive to bring y'all informative but also entertaining sports content, and we also strive to keep it, relatively professional. And sometimes, again, the passion can erupt, and we can get a little bit out of that. But it's all gravy. So let's get to it, Transformer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
Yes, go ahead, man.
Oh
Take
no,
over.
you have something to say? I
No,
didn't know
no,
how
no. I
you
was just gonna say we're gonna start right with that that last second thriller that we just saw.
Boy, was it a last second thriller. The Detroit Lions now go 8-1.
One.
Beat the game 26-23 off the feet of their kicker, who kicked 2 upright field goals to seal the
Yes.
deal. Jake Bates, the 2 field goals that he made today were very, very clutch. One to tie the game, then the other one to win the game. I think the first one was about 58 yards. The last one was about 52, 53 yards. And they literally just made it inside, pause, to win the football game for the Detroit Lions after being down pretty much the entire 2 and 3, pretty much the whole half, pretty much being down the whole half. Held Houston scoreless in the entire second half. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions, man. I mean, it completely looks like on paper that the
Right.
Detroit Lions lost this football game by a large margin, but here we go. We're talking about them winning by
Yes.
a 3-point field goal, man. What you got on that one?
Man, I tell you what, Taylor two halves in this game, obviously.
Absolutely.
And remember, we were texting in the first half of this game, and one of the things I said was like, Houston came out inspired. Obviously, Houston was kind of a trendy pick to win the AFC and go to the Super Bowl this year, not winning, but to win the AFC and go to the Super Bowl based off of what CJ Stroud and company were able to do last season. D'Amico Ryan's first year as head coach, CJ Stroud's first year as an NFL player, and just being as outstanding as they were. But clearly they've taken a bit of a step back this year. They've regressed a bit, and that's par for the course in the NFL. But watching this game, they came out extremely inspired in the first half, played very well, and then the adjustments were made at the halftime. And I think that's where you know when a team is really good, and what we're seeing from the Lions here. They made that halftime adjustment, did not allow a point
Not
in the
one.
second half. Not one. Came all the way back. Jared Goff said, to quote the Rams, F those picks, right?
F those picks.
F those
Literally.
picks. Literally.
Literally.
And he was able to guide his team back, and in an ugly way, they got the win, man. And it's rare because we always talk about what the turnover differential will be. That'll be the deciding factor in most of these games. And even though they lost the turnover battle, they are that good. And we'll talk about the other team that's that good. But clearly, Detroit is the class of the NFC this season. And when you are among the best teams in the league, you find ways to win. And again, Detroit managed to do that.
No, that's correct, man. I mean, through all adversity, right? You got to have guys that show up, that step up, when you need it the most. This was a game of that. The Detroit Lions went in the first half. They were down very early, 23-7. And they came on that second half with a pick. I believe it was Carlton Davis with 2 picks, actually, in back-to-back fashion, to literally give his team a chance to get back in that football game, right? So you're taught resiliency, just playing every down, every second counts, every down counts. Your defense steps up in a big, big way, picking off CJ Stroud 2 times in the second half. Even I think they got accredited that fumble that actually the lineman stripped from CJ Stroud that they ultimately got back. But, it was just resiliency from that entire football team, going down there and, staring a loss right in the eye, right? You're not thrilled after your quarterback throws 5 interceptions. You're like, okay,
No,
it's just not our night, right? It's not our night. So you're like, hey, man, let's just, do what we got to do to finish off this game.
Right.
And,
get out of here healthy.
And get out of here. Yeah, exactly. So, man,
point.
they did a great job, bro. They did a great job. Jared Goff, once again, game sealing drives to give his team the tie and then to give his team the lead, man. I think it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I agree. How good is Detroit, real quick, before we move on? And I know this could be a topic in of itself on another show, but how good are these guys this year?
Great. I mean, I'm not going to say they're good. I'm not going to say they're bad. They're great. right?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
they're
so too.
8-1 for a reason. If you look
Hmm.
at every football game that they've played, I believe it was week 1 that they lost against the Buccaneers, or week 2, whichever one. So since then, you won 7 to 8 straight games, right?
Yeah,
We got to give credit due where it's due.
that's correct.
Detroit Lions I mean, they're just finding ways like the champs are doing right now. We're gonna get to them
Yeah,
later.
man.
They're finding ways to win, man.
Hmm.
You can't tell me that you could be down 26 to 23 to 7, and you come out in the second half, shut out the other team, and win by 3 after throwing 5 picks.
Hmm.
That's how great you are, right?
That doesn't happen, right?
No,
Not in
it
the
don't.
NFL. That doesn't happen.
It don't. I was ready to turn my TV off. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a game of picks, man. This man Jared Goff is just
Hmm. Hmm.
foaming at the mouth. Like, yo, I can't even get the ball off.
Crazy.
But they showed what they needed to show. Like I said, defense stepped up in a big way, because I mean,
Hmm.
without the defense shutting them out, we're possibly looking at the Houston Texans going away with a win. With them fire jerseys, though, you saw them jerseys?
Uh, they looked cool. I really like the helmets.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge red guy, but I mean, it did look pretty good.
No Suwoo in your blood. No Suwoo.
I
Suwoo.
don't even know what that means.
Okay, Lil Wayne says it all the time. I'll be trying to figure out what he means.
I
But
definitely don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't listen to Wayne.
but yeah,
Nah.
man, the Detroit Lions, man, they won a great game.
Yeah,
26 to 23. Lions go 8-1. They're both still leading their division, right? Both still leading the division. I believe Houston has a 2-game lead on the Indianapolis Colts right now, who are 4
yeah.
and 6. They caught an L today. We're going to get to that a little bit later.
Hmm.
And Minnesota and Green Bay are right there on the coattails of Detroit, but Detroit is just once again just finding ways to win. So man,
Yeah.
kudos to Detroit, despite being one of our divisional rivals, man.
Hmm.
All right. Moving on over, we're going to fast forward over back to Thursday, and I'm going to let Bruce take over this one. The Bengals and the Ravens had one hell of a shootout in the fourth
Did they?
quarter, with a total of 34 points being scored in the fourth quarter
Yeah.
by both
Yeah.
teams simultaneously.
Right.
One quarterback had 428 yards, the other one had 208 yards. Both had
290.
8 touchdown. What did I say? 280?
You said 208, 290.
290. Yes,
Yeah.
290. Combined of 8 touchdowns apiece. Through the air, that is, and boy, was that a great shootout in the fourth quarter. But the Baltimore Ravens ultimately come back with the win, 35 to 34. Let's talk about your team.
Yeah, man. So again, we don't have to beat a dead horse about the Ravens porous passing defense. That's why Joe Burrow was able to get off like that. 4 touchdowns, no picks, so that's beautiful. But the Ravens also did what they do, completely shut it down on the ground. 16 carries, 49 yards for Cincinnati. So not able to effectively run the ball. That puts you in a position where you can only do one thing. But again, the Ravens can't really stop the pass, so that's not as effective a defensive strategy as it normally is, right? Making somebody one-handed. Looking at this game, right? I think at the end of the day, we have to give credit to Lamar Jackson here, right? And I try very hard to be objective, but at the same time, two things can be true, right? And right now, we are seeing Lamar Jackson play just at an otherworldly level, man. His mastery of what they're doing offensively is crazy. Also, Baltimore is the number 1 rushing team in the league. And they had been, dominating on the ground, but Cincinnati did a really good job in controlling that. 25 carries, 99 yards for the Ravens. So they weren't able to really dominate on the ground the way they are used to. And at the end of the day, it had to be on Lamar's back. And he made play after play, whether it was a play with his legs or whether it was an incredible throw. And he guided his team to the win, man. It's just, I think offensively, Baltimore is right there with Detroit. Obviously, Baltimore can stop the run, but they can't stop the pass. So that makes Detroit an overall better team defensively and an overall better team, right?
Yeah.
Seeing Baltimore and Detroit would be a great matchup. But Baltimore smacked them around last year. They don't play them this year. They smacked them around last year. So it would be interesting to see how that goes. These are both teams that believe in being physical, believe in running the football, the usual. I think we see 2 elite offensive teams there in Baltimore and Detroit. And just the way Baltimore is just kind of clicking, it is dangerous because this was once a team where if you control the run, you had a legitimate chance to beat them. But now Lamar can beat you all by himself. He's that good, and he's playing at that high level. So that's where I am. And real quick, I feel bad for Joe Burrow, man. This guy he's playing lights out as well, and he can't buy a win for his team. And what's happening here is I'm thinking the coach is going to get fired after this season is over. I don't have any sourcing on that. I haven't heard it, but we're seeing year after year that he's squandering really good teams with these slow starts. And, we know how tough the AFC is. We know how tough the AFC North usually is. This year, not quite as difficult, but usually, and you can't afford to start off as slow as you have been. Now, yes, you have Joe Burrow. You have, what's my man's name? His buddy, Jamar Chase, right? You have elite weapons, and you know that you can stay in just about any game, but you don't want to put yourself in a hole to start the season and have to climb out of it. And that's what Cincinnati has consistently been doing. So, yeah, I don't think the coach makes it. I don't think he makes it to next season. And I just feel bad, like, for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and these guys, because the early part of their prime is getting squandered. So we'll see what happens.
No. I think I agree with you, man. They're definitely looking at possibly a new coach because, I mean, Joe Burrow is literally, if they're 8-2, we're talking about MVP. Right. I mean, his numbers are very, very similar to what Lamar Jackson's is now. And here we're all talking about Lamar Jackson winning a back-to-back MVP. You look at their game, right? And you're like, okay, look, is it Joe Burrow or is it us? Right. You look at the numbers, you look at the game, you're like, well, damn, it's not Joe Burrow, it's us, right? So I think that, that's definitely a coaching issue. That's definitely you're just not putting your team in the best way to be successful on the defensive end. And we know they don't really have anything on the defensive side of the football. No big names, nothing to scoff at. Not to scoff at, to be happy about. But you expect those guys to at least get some dubs. I believe they have 4 games where it's decided by 3 to 7 points, right? So I mean, just in those games alone, you get 2 of those back. Now we're talking about you guys being in the playoff picture, but right now you guys are 4-6. Those guys are like 4-6. So now you're looking at death in the face by not even making the playoffs with an elite quarterback. But moreover to the Ravens, Lamar Jackson is special. I mean, there's nothing short of spectacular. We've seen this movie before. He can throw you with his legs. He can throw you with play action. But this time he's thrilling you with his arm, and he's being very impressive. Like I said last night, if you guys are in tune, go back and rewatch the show, some of the show. Last night we were talking about the Ravens and his spectacularness of how he's throwing outside of the numbers, and a little bit more into how he has improved as a quarterback from a throwing perspective. But the kid's absolutely elite, man. And those guys got it done when it mattered the most. Some questionable calls at the end. And there was a lot of controversy at the 2-point conversion for the Bengals. There was roughing the passer that could have been called. There was a defensive holding that could have been called that could have changed the outcome. But then again, that just allowed them an extra down. That doesn't score them points, but it could have gave them another opportunity. But yeah, man, you're absolutely right, brother. Top 3. I meant to ask you your top 3 teams in order. What would you put them in the NFL?
Well, it's got to be Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
And then, Detroit and Baltimore are right there, neck and neck. Can I 1A, 1B? Can I do that?
I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Grace.
That's all I can do because that's all I can do. But definitely Kansas City at the top of the hill, king of the hill. Yeah. And then 1A, 1B, Baltimore and Detroit.
I agree with you.
Detroit and Baltimore, however you want to order it, 1A, 1B. But that's what I see.
Yeah, those guys are finding ways to get the dubs, man. It's just it's amazing to see. It's amazing to see. Bengals are 4-6, by the way. I'm sorry, I've said that wrong.
No doubt. Real quick, Trey Hendrickson, pass rush specialist for the Bengals. He's leading the league in sacks with 11. So there is one guy on that defense that for sure that can scare you, but you can kind of scheme away from that.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking one guy. Exactly. There's nobody in the backfield that you're really scared of. You got Von Bell. He's a veteran, but nothing to really be like, we're scared of Von Bell. Right. Nobody's really scared of Von Bell.
Not an elite defensive unit.
Precisely. Sam Hubbard out there. on the line. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, just no true big names where you're like, okay, we got to really
Mm-hmm.
scheme up against those guys. Those
Right.
guys are coming after us. They're coming after the football, and they're likely to turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
Get turnovers. Excuse me.
That's right.
But yeah. All right, moving on over. We're gonna go back to Sunday. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
rewind the fast forward the clock to the early game in Munich. The Giants, Brian Daboll he didn't watch the game last week against the Carolina Panthers and the Saints.
Man.
He'll be lucky enough he has his job tomorrow.
Yeah.
Panthers beat the Giants 20-17 on the back of Bryce Young. That is his first back-to-back win in
Yeah.
his career. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, it's been short. This is only his second season, but his first back-to-back win in his career, man. What do you think about that game?
Man, I think Daniel Jones is just bad. The Giants need to find a way to make it work to cut bait with this guy after this season. Good thing is they'll be bad enough to draft one of these young quarterbacks, and they need to make sure they do that. Yeah, Daniel Jones is bad. 22 of 37, 190, no touchdowns, 2 picks, like just bad. Bryce Young, they did a really good job supporting him today, rushing the ball 32 times for 188 yards. So he's not feeling like everything had to be on his back, but still 15 of 25, a buck 26, nothing spectacular, but 1 touchdown, but then and only 1 sack. So like not a terrible game from him, a clean game. And I'm sure for right now, because he's what they got, that's all they can ask for. Just play a clean game, try not to turn it over, and do what you can, and we will. And Chuba Hubbard is really, he's chugging along there.
I was
right?
going to get on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. If we remember at Oklahoma State, this is a 2,000-yard guy. Obviously, that's college, but still, 2,000 yards is 2,000 yards. So Chuba Hubbard, when he gets going, he can get going. So just the Panthers, give them credit. This was a really bad football team, but they're not rolling over. They're competing. And realistically, even when you're a bad football team, all you can do is compete. And to me, that says that they may be building some sort of culture there, with the new head coach and new coaching staff. So give some credit there. But yeah, I think Dayball's gone from the Giants after this. I think Daniel Jones should be gone from the Giants after this. If he's not, somebody's like criminally.
They literally just paid him.
No, they paid him like 2 years ago, right?
I thought it was just last offseason.
2 years ago.
Has it been 2 years already?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, get rid of him
not
fast.
Off season, but the previous one, I think they gave him.
Got it. I'm getting my off season.
So I think they can get out from under the deal this year. So they need to do that, and they need to draft one of these quarterbacks. But I mean, this was a boring game. This was a bad game. But again, credit due Bryce Young. He has been forced into action, I think, by injury to Andy Dalton. But he's going out there and competing, and you can't ask for anything else. So we'll go with that.
No, absolutely, man. I mean, I got nothing else much to touch on this game, but other than the fact that both running backs, from a ground perspective, showed out. Unfortunately, there were 3 fumbles by both running backs, but they were both able to run the ball effectively to put their team in success to get these field goals. There was a lot of field goals kicked in this game. Right. But shout out to Bryce Young, man. I mean, he could have easily looked at that bench and been like, "Come on, man!" Like I was just. But no, I don't think he won the Heisman. He didn't win the Heisman, but he won an Natty.
Yeah, he did. He won a Heisman.
Did he win the Heisman? Okay, so
I think he won a Heisman, but not a national championship.
I probably have it backwards then. So you're so used to playing, big program Alabama, Nick Saban. You one of Nick Saban's last kids, right? And you're like, you're so used to being on an elite level, playing at an elite level, and then you go over to Carolina, and you're just getting ragdolled. As a quarterback. Granted, you were drafted small. We knew you were small. Everybody knew you were small, right? You didn't have the build to last in the NFL from the drafting perspective. But he stuck through it. He got benched, came back, and now he's on back-to-back wins. Man, I think that does a lot for your confidence. Granted, it's the Giants, but that does a lot for your confidence to be like, okay, we ain't the worst out here, right? There's other quarterbacks, there's other teams that are worse than us. And I have the ability to go out there and get it done. So, man, big shout out to Bryce Young, man. Big shout out.
No doubt.
All right. So, moving on over, we're going to go into New England. No, I don't think this game was in New England. Waiting for my screen to refresh. This was in Chicago, man. The Bears. The Bears lose in an awful show out of the number one pick in Caleb Williams. Loses 19-3 to, I believe, Drake May was the third pick. No,
third pick.
Third pick. Yeah, third pick. Behind Jaden Daniels, right? Drake May, number 3 pick, puts up 19 as the number 1 pick, only scores 3. Make it make sense, but I'm gonna let you roll with it.
No, I was gonna say, interestingly enough, Caleb Williams is now lost to both the number 2 and number 3 picks in this draft that were drafted behind him. So far, he looks terrible. However, the organization failed him by not firing Matt Eberflus before the season started and getting him a competent offensive coach. That is a decent defensive team, but nobody should be getting beat 19-3 by the damn Patriots. That's not it. Drake May is showing flashes. He doesn't have a whole lot to work with offensively, but he is showing flashes. They got to get this guy some weapons. He's athletic. He's got some tools. He'll be all right. Caleb Williams, we won't know what this guy is until he gets some real coaching, somebody that can really work with him and help to develop him. But the Bears are just bad right now. I don't even know what to say, man. They are just bad. And Bears.
What I can tell you is that, and I mentioned this yesterday, that offensive line is going to get that kid killed. 9 sacks.
Yeah.
9 sacks.
That's a lot this year.
Sacked a lot. I think he's leading the league, I want to say.
I believe so.
But, you're putting your number 1 pick out there, and, you got him the weapons. You got all these fancy toys, these shiny little toys. You got your quarterback, but you got him the toys with no safety net. Right? It's like getting a metal Tonka truck and you're a 1-year-old kid, right? 1-year-old kid playing around with a metal Tonka truck. They got the sharp edges, and then you cut your hands, right?
That's right.
So it's not beneficial to go out there and give him all these flashy weapons. So now he's going to try his hardest. We know that's what Caleb Williams does. He's going to try to extend the play and try to get him to these weapons. But the offensive line is non-existent. Letting them get sacked 9 times for a loss of 51 yards. That's terrible. That's terrible. Bears got a lot of work to do. They're 4-5 now. They're dropping in the division. Thank God, because it was kind of tough over there for a minute. But they're running into a buzz off games. I think they got Green Bay next week, so can possibly go 4-6. So what a turnaround of events for what was looking like a great start off for the team. And then Caleb Williams starting to pick it up, but now we're starting to see, the reality of like, okay, we're still quite a few pieces away from even being relevant. We're a coach away because my quarterback shouldn't be looking like that. We need some offensive pieces on the line to protect my number 1 asset on my football team. So just flat out terrible. But I agree with you, man. Drake May, he's impressing me. I think the Patriots have found him one. Definitely, I see him drafting at least 2 receivers in this next draft. One early, maybe one in those mid rounds or later rounds to get a little bit more competitive in that locker room. But Drake May is really showing flashes to me, man. He can run it. He can throw it. He's making great throws. And I'm seeing a lot of just bad routes ran by the receivers when I watch New England play. And I'm like, dang, Drake could have made that throw if you would have just continued on your route. But yeah. They did what they need to get it done. 19-3. The Bears.
And real quick on the Bears, man, their schedule to finish out the season is a nightmare. Packers, Vikings, Lions, 49ers, Vikings, Lions, Seahawks, Packers. They're in big trouble.
They could literally lose every game.
They really could. They're in big trouble. Eberflus is done.
They can legit lose every freaking game on that schedule.
Yes, they could.
Because all those guys got something to play for. So that's boy, best of luck, but not really to the Chicago Bears. Bad. All right. Moving on over. We're gonna go to Indianapolis. The Buffalo Bills go 8-2, 30-20 against the Indianapolis Colts, 4-6. Josh Allen, no touchdowns in the air, but he got one on the ground. Passing yards of 280. I'm sorry. I just saw Anthony Davis. They say he left the game in the third quarter with his it's an eye problem. Nothing crazy. Okay. But 2 interceptions, Take it away, man. Your dinosaur Joe Flacco didn't look like. I mean, he looked like much of a dinosaur tonight. So what do you got?
Yeah. January Joe, man, he's doing all he can do. Got some help from Jonathan Taylor tonight. 21 for 114. Good night out for him. Although he had one carry for 58, so that sure helps a lot to boost the average, right? Yep. But I tell you what, this is the interesting thing. Are the Bills very quietly the best team no one is talking about?
I was going to ask you that when you named the top three.
Right. Okay. Right. I don't think they can get into the top three, but they're very quietly just going right along, playing very good football. And I mean, think about it. If they continue, they could, in theory, end up with a better record than the Ravens at the end of the year, even though the Ravens are the better team out of the two, because we saw what the Ravens did to them at the head.
Correct.
But they could be in a focus. You see Edward Jackson's comment?
What is
That's funny. No doubt, Edward Jackson. No doubt.
Man, chill. I saw newsflash.
I know, right? Newsflash. But yeah, I think the Bills are very quietly one of the best teams in the league, and no one has anything to say. And realistically, I think they're just fine with that. I'm sure Josh Allen would like a little more attention for what he's doing, but I think at this point he's just trying to get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And of course win one.
Yeah. I mean, because honestly, to me, Josh Allen isn't doing any wow things. There's not a lot of wow in his numbers. No. There's not a lot of wow in his plays. No. He's finally learning from a Patrick Mahomes, like, bro, just win.
Yeah.
Damn the numbers. Damn the spectacle. Like, just right. Win the football game. Do what you got to do in that fourth quarter to, muster up what your team needs to get the W, right? And I think that's what we're seeing of Josh Allen this year. I mean, from a touchdown ratio, this was his worst game. But then again, he's looking up at the scoreboard and it says 30-20 and the clock's a 0. And he's like, say less.
I'll take that. Right.
I'll take it. Yeah. Say less. I mean, clearly they're running away with that division. I mean, there's no competition in his division. So, I mean, clearly he's going to be in the playoffs without a shadow of a doubt. But, you're looking at the Colts, right? Like, what can you guys do to improve? All right. You already benched your rookie from last year, the one that you drafted in the first round, and Anthony Richardson. You have one hell of a cowbell back and Jonathan Taylor. Go Badgers. But
doubt.
What, like, where do you go from here? Right. Joe Flacco can only do so much for you at the age of 40.
And he can't be the plan for the future. And clearly Anthony Richardson's not the guy. So what do? Do you try to get another quarterback?
Yeah.
Or do you just try to continue to develop him? Do you try to get more dynamic weapons? Like, I don't know what the Colts' plan is here. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, you got Alec Pierce, great receiver. Josh Downs, great receiver. Right, you got a couple of great receivers over there. You got a running back. Your offensive line is solid. I'm not going to say they're one of the best, but they're solid enough.
Right.
Like, I think you're possibly looking at another quarterback. If not another savvy veteran, maybe, because now Joe Flacco, you're not going to re-sign him right next year.
Who knows what they do, man? I don't know.
So it's going to be interesting. I'm curious on what the Colts are going to do this upcoming off season, man. That's for sure. All right, we're going to get to the undefeated, unscathed, unafraid,
the
champs.
Man,
dude, when you want to talk about finding ways to win,
does this look like destiny to you?
It feels like it.
It does.
And you know what? As I sat on my couch, I was watching the end of the football game, and my wife is next to me, and I'm like, Broncos could possibly win this game, and she was like, "Hey, what you mean possibly?"
Right.
Like, wait, because something for Kansas City is somebody is going to step up when it matters the most. When Denver got that first down, I was like, don't feel like a win yet. It don't feel like a win. I'm like, granted, you got the first down. You guys could seal this with a 34, 35-yard field goal. It just didn't feel like the Broncos could still win.
Yeah.
As soon as the play was called, boom, block kick. I'm like, there it is. That's why I didn't feel comfortable. couldn't feel comfortable, man. The Kansas City Chiefs are finding ways on the defense through Patrick Mahomes, through the run game, through
and now,
special teams
right?
to win freaking football games,
Yeah,
man. It's just amazing. Patrick Mahomes, 28 for 42, 266 yards, a touchdown. Nothing crazy when you're looking at the numbers when he's throwing a football, but you're looking at no. He doesn't.
He's like, yo, just bring me them dubs. I do not care about the numbers.
Hey, what James was to say? Well, I'm eating W's all day, just eating W's. Eating W's, man.
Yeah,
those kids are 9-0. He looks up at the scoreboard when them clocks hit 0, and he's like, okay.
Did you see how happy he was when they blocked that kick?
Boy, because he does the whole
the way he ran out there. Oh, he looked like a little kid on Christmas morning, man. Man, he looked like Ralphie when he got his Red Ryder BB gun, man.
Dude, that man was ecstatic. He's like,
ecstatic.
Oh, thank God. Here y'all go, man. They found another way to beat a team through all adversity, staring an L right in the face. Right in the face. Denver was like, yeah, we got this. Our kicker is 95% this season, right? He's good. Say less.
Yeah.
Say less,
Hold my
man.
beer.
Hold my freaking beer. Bo Nix, the rookie, had a decent showing out. 22 of 30, 2 touchdowns. Looked very good. 115 on the passer rating. He wasn't able to get the ground game going for them at all. In a sense, neither team did, honestly. This was just one of those defensive stopping eras games for the run game. And, quarterbacks out there just really making plays. But ultimately, the biggest play made just came on special teams today, man. You got anything else on this game?
Nah, not really. Other than, no one expected anything out of Denver. They have one of the best defenses in the league. Bo Nix, I was never a big fan of his, but he is playing better than I thought he would be capable of playing on this level. Now they're making it as simple as they can for him. They are making it a staple to run the football. Really try to do that. You can see Sean Payton, he really is, like we've been talking about, trying to keep balanced. Bo Nix had 30 pass attempts, and the team ran 23 times. So not quite balanced, but they're really, trying to maintain those attempts at running the football because that makes everything easier for Nix. And they're giving him a lot of short stuff, but, they're giving him stuff that he's comfortable with and stuff that's going to allow him to have success. So on this level. So, I'm not going to say impressed, but I'm a little bit surprised. I didn't think that they would have this level of success. I mean, they're still 500, right? And, I think, what did they win? 4 games all last season? So, they might end up with 7 wins here. So we'll see. But yeah, that's about it. But yeah, man, the Chiefs are doing what great teams do and what champions do, finding a way to win no matter what. And that says something.
And can we stop this notion? Not you, right?
I know where this is going. Go ahead.
The refs bail them out.
Yeah.
The refs aren't in it. The refs aren't making calls.
Well, the refs blocked the kick today, too.
The refs blocked the kick. Right? The refs blocked the kick.
Somebody going to find some way to say that,
At the end of the day, lets me know who really watches football games or who's just won. Kansas City has won so much they've gotten tiresome. Right?
Yes,
to other football teams.
They're at that point now. That's right.
They're at that point. We've seen it from Tom Brady. They got tired of him winning. Oh man, we got to find ways of it's some controversy. Well, tailgate, spygate, blah blah blah. We're giving all these accusations now on reasons why he's being carried. Like the league wants him to win. He's the face of the league, right? Now we're seeing that with Patrick Mahomes, face of the league. Oh, Taylor Swift there. So guess what? The NFL wants Taylor Swift in the stands. That's how they're getting their revenue. Come on, man. Come on. Greatness is greatness.
Absolutely. Now, 2 things can be true. She is definitely providing a bump in revenue for the league.
Correct.
So I get it.
But that's not.
I totally agree with what you're saying.
Games. Yeah, that's not what's winning football games. But I'll be glad we get off of that notion, man. Moving on, we're gonna go into the Saints after losing against Carolina Panthers last week. To Bryce Young, they come in and stifle Atlanta Falcons.
So
Hold
you finally got me to come around on these Falcons, and look what happened.
I thought that soon as Kirk Cousins threw that pick, I was like, you know what? Bruce bet on the damn Falcons this week, man.
Oh man.
He comes
You know
over
what
and guess
though?
what we do? First week,
Yeah.
hell.
What do we always talk about though, man? You can't discount these division games, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so
That's true.
yeah.
Derek Carr, decent game, 16 of 25, 269 yards, 2
Mm-hmm.
touchdowns, 126.9 passer rating. That'll get it
Yeah.
done. They
Get it
pretty
done.
much were pretty even on the splits. Look, 2 more rushes than passing, 27 attempts to 25. So Alvin Kamara was able to get his touches. Derek Carr did a
Mm-hmm.
few. Taysom Hill was able to run the football. Nobody got over 100 yards on that
Nope.
team total,
Nope.
but they at least they kept their attempt going, right? You look at the opposite end, and you would clearly think Atlanta should be winning this football game. 306 yards by Kirk Cousins. Yes, he threw a pick, but then you look at the ground, 181 yards on the
That
ground
normally
after
will win you a
32
game.
attempts. Right? That'll normally win you the game, but now we're looking at
Mm-hmm.
a 3-point win by the New Orleans Saints, man. They got it done.
They got it done. They got it done.
Wait a minute. There we go.
Tough division matchup, man. I really don't have too much on this game. You know, it's good to see that these bad teams aren't just quitting on the season already in week 10. That's what's good. Because a lot of times you see, okay, this is when strategically certain players aren't playing and, the certain calls aren't being made. And they're just, okay, let's finish the season and let's get pole position in the draft and, get either draft what we want or trade the pick for people and more picks so that we can try to rebuild this team. But according to what's been reported, the Saints have no plans on trying to rebuild. I'm like, what? Okay. It doesn't seem that way, but that's they said that they have no plans on trying to rebuild. So I don't know. I mean, you fire your coach in the middle of the season, then you trade away one of your best guys, right? So yeah. I don't know.
That's interesting. I'm curious to see if they keep Derek Carr. I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be curious enough to see if they keep him.
Yeah.
And not try to move off some of the, because I think their defense is a little bit older than what they would like it to be. So I definitely think that don't have to be a full rebuild, but I mean, you should be rebuilding something. Atlanta's is younger. They got Kirk Cousins, but they're off. Everybody on their offensive side of the football is young. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts. Mm-hmm. Those guys are young, right? Yeah. You don't.
Position group.
Yeah, skill positions are all young. So I mean, you don't really have, nobody near that on your offensive side of the football, right? So that's funny. That's funny that you say that. But Atlanta loses to New Orleans to go 6-4, still 2 games on the lead of that division. Over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who we're about to roll right into. The 49ers win a tough nail biter 23-20 in Tampa to go 5-4. Baker touchdown maker. Only able to get 1 touchdown, 116 yards against that San Francisco offense. Brock Purdy looked real purdy today. All right, 25 of 36, 353 yards, 2 touchdowns, man. What you got on this game?
Tough game. All right, can I say that even with the losing, with all of the brutal injuries that Tampa Bay is dealing with, I'm impressed with the way Todd Bowles is coaching this team and the way they're competing, as well as the way Baker is playing without his top 2 weapons. I know that sounds like, I don't even know the word because, at the end of the day, wins and losses, right? That's what it boils down to. And the winning is not happening. But again, it's just competitive.
They're making it competitive. They're not laying down.
No.
They're going to have a chance in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about it, right?
Right.
You're down your weapons, but no, we still got other weapons. We got a great quarterback. We believe in our quarterback. We believe in our coach. And I think that just shows more love to Todd Bowles and what he has over there, right? I'm down my weapons, but yet I'm still in these games in the fourth quarter. Granted, losses are losses, wins are wins. There's no what they call it, moral victory.
Moral victories.
Yeah, there's no moral victory, but you still have some type of man, we're in the fight. We just we need our guys, right? We're in the fight.
Yeah, we need our guys. We need, just something to break our way.
Yeah.
But you could see defensively San Francisco was determined. Baker and this Tampa Bay offense is getting nothing over the top. Everything's going to be in front of us. Everything's going to be short. They didn't give him anything. 18 completions for 116 yards. Like that is, that's dink and dunk to the ultimate, right? So they really didn't allow those guys to get going. Tampa Bay was able to run for over 100 yards. I'm sure Coach Shanahan is not happy about that. But overall, just tough, man. Just tough sledding.
No, absolutely. Shout out Christian McCaffrey as well. This was his return game, his first game of the season.
That's right.
Not much on the ground, 13 carries for 39. But Christian McCaffrey, if you can't run it, guess what? He can catch it. Right? He can catch it. 6 receptions, 68 yards. So a total of over 100 yards from scrimmage in his first game this season. So he came back and looked like that. Not Triple Crown. What award did he get? Didn't he get AP 2 years ago?
Offensive Player of the Year, maybe.
Yeah, I think he got Offensive Player.
Yeah, I think
I want to say he was Offensive Player a couple of years ago. So it looks like that guy, the Madden cover guy. Christian McCaffrey did look good in his return, but Brock Purdy, man. I mean, listen to this: receiving longs for receivers. It was Juwan Jennings, Ricky Parcell, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. 30 yards. 46 yards, 30 yards, 32, 33. That was the longest receptions.
Yeah. So and that's why I hate that narrative when it comes to Brock Purdy that, he's got so much talent and he just throws it and then the guys run with it. Like, no, you haven't been watching. He's been among the league leaders in air yards per attempt and yards per attempt for like the last 2 or 3 years. So
that is very correct.
Yeah.
I mean, he shows it through his play. Like I said, guys, you're watching, just go and watch film. Yeah. Don't. Sometimes you got to do your own research, right? We can tell you everything under the sun. I can tell you the sky's blue. If you don't go outside and verify it, it could have been great, right? So you don't even know, right? So you got to go back and look at the film because Brock Purdy is one heck of a quarterback, man. He is one heck of a quarterback. But yeah, they got it done. We're gonna move on over. Oh, my bad. I didn't even give you the standings. I'm sorry. San Francisco is 5-4. A game behind Arizona. We're gonna get into those guys later. That's still one heck of a division.
I was about to say it's another tough division. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. NFC, man, we out here fighting for our life.
That's right.
All right. And then I mentioned earlier, Tampa Bay is 2 games behind the Atlanta Falcons. So moving on over, man. The game of the week for me. This is one of the game of the weeks for me. Pittsburgh Steelers traveled to play the rookie. I mean, the rookie, the second overall pick, Jaden Daniels. And that was a great game. I did like that game. Russell Wilson, closed it out in Russell Wilson fashion that we've seen in Seattle.
He did.
And, the Pittsburgh Steelers gave Jaden Daniels something very, very different to look at.
That's right.
And it caused him to go 50% of his completion percentage. But I'm going to let you go ahead and give your takes on this game.
No, to me, that was one of the big things. I thought that Jaden Daniels, in facing clearly the best defense he's ever faced, I was about to say as a professional, but that would make it the best defense he's ever faced, right? So he's never seen anything like this. And that is what, if we even go back and check the tape, that's one of the things I said. I think that they're going to have things he's never seen before and that he's not going to be able to deal with. Now, I didn't think the game was going to be this close, and again, let me continue to say I'm impressed with the Washington Commanders and what they're doing. No one expected this, right? I think you, myself, Angie all had them third in the division before the season started. So to watch them currently right now sitting at 7-3 and being just a really good football team, man, it's impressive. So shout outs to them.
No. Big shout outs. I mean, when you're a rookie, right? You're high on life. You're like, oh man, 7-2, my rookie season. They doubted us. We're leading the division, right? And then you walk in, you got to see that dark-skinned fella with the shades on, with the ball cap forward, by the name of Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin ain't having that, right? Mike Tomlin is one heck of a coach. Probably arguably top 10 of all time. And he told his guys like, yo, we're gonna throw a lot of different looks at him. Right, we're gonna really make this quarterback uncomfortable. Sacked him 3 times, but again, Jaden Daniels was able to get nothing done from a scoring perspective. All the touchdowns came through the ground, through the running backs, but they kept Jaden Daniels in the pocket. He wasn't able to get out of the pocket. They kept it funky for him for the throwing perspective, like I mentioned earlier, 50% complete percentage, and we're talking from a kid who was throwing 70s and 80s pretty much most of the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
So shout out to that Mike Tomlin and his coaching ability to drop that defense to create some great plays.
Yeah.
To really
And
mix
even
it
with
up in
all
the red
that
zone.
though, Transformer, the Commanders had control of that game until the very end. So
Correct.
I think that just shows you that the future is bright there in Washington, man.
Yeah. No, very, very true, man. Another shout
Hmm.
out, Mike Williams. Mike
Hmm.
Williams
Hmm.
got the short end of the stick by
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets.
that's right.
And
Right.
first game in, he makes one of the biggest plays of the game.
Hmm.
32-yard touchdown in the back left of the end zone by Russell Wilson.
Game winning play.
Game-winning play to,
Hmm.
boost his confidence, right? Because, he played in Los Angeles, was San Diego at the time? Well, it was Los Angeles still. He
Yeah, yeah.
played with the Chargers, and,
Hmm.
you were a hot shot over there. You went through a bunch of injuries to, kind of keep you off of the field. You go to New York Jets, you're like Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame quarterback, 4-time MVP, Super Bowl champion. Oh, I'm going to look good over here just to
Hmm.
get all of the blame,
Yeah.
for plays, that you and him didn't connect on. And
Hmm.
immediately when you get traded to the next team, you make the game-winning touchdown play,
That's right.
right? So big shout out Mike Williams, man. And, ways to stick in there, man. Ways to stick in there.
And in fairness,
Absolutely.
before we move on, man, let me also say, G was right about Russell Wilson.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
come in and he has played well and continued to guide this team. And you can see the difference. I mean, it's still not Baltimore or Detroit or something like that, but you can see the difference offensively in the way this team is performing with Russell Wilson at the helm versus Justin Fields. And I'm a Justin Fields guy, but I don't know, maybe he just doesn't have it at this level. He can do some things, but clearly you're seeing the difference with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is not lighting the world on fire, but
Yeah.
clearly the offense does look different, and he's continuing along with that defense to help to guide the Steelers to wins.
No, absolutely, man. Big shout out to G. He definitely called it. He said week 8, and here we are, week 10.
He sure did. That's right.
And Russell
So 3
Wilson
games
is
later. That's right.
3 games, and he's winning
Hmm.
them.
Yep.
He's giving them that punch that they needed on the offensive side of the
Yes.
football,
Yes. That's
right?
correct.
That punch, because I'm pretty sure. I mean, not, I don't have a crystal ball, but Justin Fields probably wasn't getting 28 points, right?
No.
With
No,
that
I think that's
Washington
fair.
Commanders defense. So,
That's right.
big shout out to G and his prediction on Russell Wilson.
Hmm.
All right. Moving on over, man. The snooze fest in Jacksonville occurred, in which a game that they should have won. I was just hoping that they found a way to win, but Mac Jones sealed
Yeah.
it for me. But the Vikings come up to Jacksonville and beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 12-7 in Mac Jones's first start as a Jaguar. Not too
Right.
impressed. Very, very bad game, awful game, especially the game-costing interception at the end.
Yeah.
But Sam Darnold didn't look much better. He turned back into a pumpkin this game,
He sure
24 of
did.
38.
Sure
No
did.
touchdowns, 3 interceptions,
Hmm.
48% passer rating, but they stuck to their guts. They kept running the football, 43 carries, 169 yards. That'll put your quarterback in better positions to win a football game, man. What's your take on this one?
No, you have great points there. It sucks for Mac Jones in a couple ways, right? He kind of got screwed in New England. This is a dude that played well as a rookie, made the playoffs. Obviously, lost I think the wild card game, but made the playoffs as a rookie. And then Coach Belichick says, I'm so great I can do anything, and he puts Joe Judge and Matt Patricia as the co-offensive coordinators, and clearly that destroyed Mac Jones's development. And then he ends up getting traded to Jacksonville, which I don't know if that was a favor or not, or if it just worked out that way because he's from here. Mac Jones played his high school ball at the Bowl School before he moved on to University of Alabama, where he did great things. So you see that and you say, okay, well, this guy's got something, and now he's back in front of friends and family, which isn't always the best thing, I guess, but he got his first start here as a Jag and played terribly. So just a bad game. Like you said, 14-22, 111, no touchdowns, 2 picks, just sacked 3 times. Jacksonville could not run the football, 18 attempts for 56 yards. Just bad, man. Tough spot against one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, and Brian Flores. So, But on the flip side, Minnesota able to do their thing running the ball, right? 43 carries for 169 yards. So you want to see that because obviously Sam Darnold, even though he had 38 attempts, he was not throwing it well. No touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So Sam Darnold is turning back into the Sam Darnold that we all knew he eventually would.
Yeah.
But overall, just the Vikings did what we expected them to do. We just thought it would be a lot easier for them.
Correct. Definitely thought it would be a lot easier. But like we mentioned, Sam Darnold, eventually he was going to have that game. We're like, yeah. Like, what are you doing out there, right? But big shout out to Brian Flores and that defense stopping Mac Jones on the final drive for the Jaguars. It was a red zone interception. Yeah, it was a red zone interception by Bynum. Excuse me, by Bynum in the back right corner. That I believe Mac Jones overthrew the football. And Doug Peterson was asked, what was going on in that play, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to answer that. I'm just going to go back and look at the film and come back next game." That man is clearly out of there.
Oh yeah,
I think he's mentally checked out. Like,
yeah, I think so too. He's just trying to finish out the year like a professional.
Yeah, he's mentally checked out, and Jaguars are definitely going to be looking at a new quarterback next season. Maybe Brian
new
Flores.
coach. They're not looking at a new quarterback. They just paid that.
That's what I meant to say. My apologies.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking at quarterback numbers, and I said quarterback, but yeah, nothing really much to scoff at about this game. So we're gonna move on over to the next one. The Chargers beat the Tennessee Titans 27-17, and a nice little back and forth there, man. What's your take on this one?
The Chargers are playing football the way Jim Harbaugh wants to play it. They're playing football in what his DNA is. And from all accounts and all reporting, Justin Herbert isn't bothered by it at all, right? And realistically, why should he be? They're winning, and he's got his money, right? So he shouldn't be too upset. But yeah, he got paid last year.
Oh, I didn't know Justin Herbert got paid.
He got paid right before. He got paid before Joe Burrow did.
Oh, okay, good. Oh,
that's right. Continue. He got his extension. So yeah, he's 14 of 18 today, so super accurate for 164 and then a touchdown, no turnovers. Meanwhile, Will Levis, good game for him, 18 of 23, 175, correct. 2 touchdowns, no picks, so very efficient. And Tennessee was able to run the ball a little bit as well, 21 for 132, pretty decent game. Meanwhile, the Chargers ran it 39 for 145. So both teams kind of played the way they wanted to. Tennessee has a very good defense. They're top 5, I believe, in total defense. So that's a good defensive football team. Not bad. The Chargers are quietly 6-3, so they could get a wild card berth. And depending on how the seedings shake out, who knows what that's going to be. But Harbaugh is building this team in his image. They're playing how he wants to play, and they're winning games how he wants to win games. So it's what we expect, and I think what we will continue to see.
No, you're absolutely right, man. You hit everything on the nose. This was definitely a hardball type of game, right? 39 carries to 18 passing attempts. That's right. That's Michigan written all over it,
isn't it?
That's Michigan written all over it, man.
Right.
You doubled your passing attempts, and you did it in a great fashion, man. 145, 2 touchdowns, like you said. Getting it done on the ground and just keeping the ball out of Will Levis and those guys' hands. And controlling the clock, control the tempo, and ultimately you win the football game. 6-3 puts them at. Let me see. Oh, my bad. I'm not looking at the playoff standings. Playoffs. They are currently 6. They're currently 6 in the in the conference. So right now they're holding the 6th seed for that wild card spot because ultimately Kansas City is going to win that division. I don't think it's not even going to be a threat anymore. Especially as Kansas City still have to play those guys again. But yeah, they're comfortable sitting at 6-3 and doing it the Harbaugh way. So I like it, man.
That's right.
All right, moving on over. We don't have to talk about it much, but the biggest team in NFL, the Dallas Cowboys, got curb stomped by the Philadelphia Eagles, 34-6, in which the backup had to get relieved by the backup. And immediately threw an interception against that Philadelphia Eagles defense.
Mhm.
Philadelphia was able to put in their backup, but only because their starter was up 30-something points
Right,
to
right.
6 against the Dallas Cowboys.
Mhm.
What's your take on this game other than the fact that Dallas Cowboys are officially done this season?
Right. Eagles, another very good team. No one's really talking about them, but that is quietly a very good team. They can run it, 187 on the ground today. They can throw it, although you didn't see the gaudy passing numbers today, but with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and then you got Saquon Barkley out of the backfield who can catch it, and Dallas Goedert at tight end. They got all the weapons. Jahan Dotson, I should say, Penn State alum. We are. They got all the weapons, and the defense is, well, the Cowboys are just terrible, but the defense is kind of rounding into shape, not elite, but rounding into shape. So this is a team that's 7-2 now, and depending on how they end out the season, the Lions are clearly the best team in the NFC, but they are going to have some worthy challengers. So yeah, the Eagles look good. The Cowboys do not. The Cowboys are trash. I don't know what the future is with them. Jerry Jones again. Clearly has no real intentions on winning and making anything happen. He just wants to continue to be in the headlines. That's all that is. So it's just sad. It's just sad. But is it sad? No, it's not sad. Because I really no. No, because it's not sad if you're not trying to win. You know
It's
what I'm
not sad.
saying? Yeah, you get in front of us and in the media with the cameras and all that, and
Yeah.
there is no amount of money I wouldn't write a check for to get another one of those Super Bowl trophies.
I'll
But you're
tell you
lying.
what.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're not doing what it takes to really
Didn't
try
write
to
that
win.
check this year.
Yeah. So, but
Well, he did actually. He did write a check. He wrote 2 of them.
oh yeah, he wrote
2
CeeDee
big
Lamb
checks,
and Dak
massive
Prescott.
checks.
Right? But guess what? He could have wrote a medium check and got Derrick Henry in there, and this team could have looked very different. But anyway,
Very different.
We digress. We've beaten that drum. But yeah, Eagles look good, man. Eagles look good. Let's see, what are they looking at the rest of the way? There's nothing really to discuss in this game. Cowboys are just terrible. So, like you said, they got curb stomped. Okay, so the Eagles have the Commanders next week. Really good game.
Really good game.
Good. Yeah,
Probably
man.
game of the week.
Is that Thursday night? The
Thursday
14th,
night.
right?
They got a short.
That's Thursday night.
Week.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, we're looking forward to that one. Followed up by the Rams. That's a Sunday night game, it looks like. Then the Ravens, Panthers, they get a break with there. Then the Steelers, Commanders again, Cowboys, that's another easy win, and the Giants to finish out the season. So they've got some tough games mixed in there.
I heard some tough ones in there. Ravens, Steelers, Commanders.
Twice. Commanders twice, Ravens, Steelers, Rams. Yeah, so
that's 5.
Coming down the stretch, we'll see how good the Eagles are, but right now they're playing very well.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles did what they were supposed to do. Come in against the backup, treat them like a backup. 13 of 23, 45 yards. Right. They ended up getting relieved. Trey Lance comes in 4 of 6, but he threw an interception. It was just turnover galore. They had 4 fumbles and 4 lost fumbles. 2 from Cooper Rush, 1 from Zeke, another from Jake Ferguson. It was just bad, man. It was honestly just overall bad. I honestly started. I told my wife, I'm like, I'm kind of feeling bad for him. I'm like, this is not even like okay. I didn't expect the Dallas Cowboys to be great. This is like a whole flip of what I predicted in the beginning of the season. I had him second in the division, but it's like, boy, yeah. I mean, you guys are just bad in every single way. You can't run, you can't pass, you can't defend. Your special teams is horrible. Like, dude, it's just all bad. Like, I feel bad for trolling him. I'm still going to troll him for the rest of the year because I told him I was going to still troll him because of what Green Bay did to him last year.
That's right.
I think everybody saw that game and was like, yo, Dallas ain't that good.
Nope. That's right.
We can beat on Dallas.
And they had a whole offseason to try and get that stuff fixed, and they didn't. So
it just got worse, man. It honestly just got worse. But Philly looks good, man. They're currently second in the conference. Of course, they just took the division lead over the Commanders, so they have a game up on them. But that's going to all change, and we'll see we'll see if that does change here come Thursday, man. I think that's definitely going to be game in a week. All right. Here we go. Last game is similar to this game. The Cardinals curb stomp Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. 31-6 in Arizona. Kyler Murray. They look great. They manhandled that defense. The New York Jet defense that we've been talking about being one of the elite defenses.
Yeah.
Cardinals just carved them up. Carved them up through the run, carved them up through the air. They couldn't stop anything, right? What's your takes on this game, brother?
I'm gonna let you go first, man. I've actually been waiting to hear what you had to say about this one. So, yeah.
I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
Okay. I think we can keep. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
The Jets. Thank you for trading for Aaron Rodgers, getting him out of Green Bay. Y'all can keep all of the blame deflecting.
That's right.
The drama, the retreats, the ayahuasca, all that. I can keep all that because y'all sold y'all future, gave everything that man wanted for you guys to be 3-7.
Yeah,
y'all were just as bad with what's the kid's name? Zach Wilson. 3-7.
Yeah.
Yet you got Garrett Wilson, you got Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
You got two great running backs in Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and yet you're 3-7 and looked awful doing it. It was just awful. Like you couldn't get anything going, right? Run game couldn't get going. Aaron Rodgers couldn't get on par with his receivers. Well, I don't get it. I honestly don't get it.
Not at all.
That was just horrible, brother. That was just horrible. Yeah. I got nothing to add on that, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And so I'm watching the game, and I was really wondering, like, what is Transformer thinking about this? Because Aaron Rodgers looks terrible.
Terrible.
He's clearly a shell of himself. He needs to hang it up after this season. He's never going to win another Super Bowl. I know he wants to, and I know it would have been great, especially to do it in New York, where everything is magnified, and it's been so long since the Jets have had that championship level success. I get it, but it's like you said, so much drama, and I know somewhere. What's my man? Robert Saleh is laughing, as he should be.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, Aaron Rodgers got that man fired on some BS, and now look, you know what I'm saying? It's not even like the team got any better. I know Woody Johnson got to be like, damn, you know, but he got him out there. So it's interesting. Former NFL scout, host of the 3 and Out podcast, John Middlecoff, he says he doesn't have a source, but he believes that Rex Ryan is going to be the coach of the Jets again, you know, and I think that would be a great fit because obviously he knows that market. He knows that team to an extent. He knows that ownership group. They have outstanding defensive players on that team. And we know Rex Ryan's calling card is defense. So he's going to get them playing up to their capability defensively. And as well, you know, he's going to get back to keeping it simple, really running the ball and passing it and taking advantage of, you know, having an outstanding running back room there. So I think Rex Ryan probably really would be a very good fit for the Jets. But until that happens, Robert Saleh, he's got to be laughing, and deservedly so. And Aaron Rodgers is he's nowhere near what he used to be. Just nowhere near what he used to be.
Yeah. Nowhere near. I mean, you looking at this guy right now playing, you would have never thought he was a 4-time MVP.
That's right.
Super Bowl winner.
That's right.
Like you just said, it's just complete shell, man. It's like there's no zip. There's like none of the spectacular plays that I've witnessed for 13 years in Green Bay. I'm not seeing none of those now, right? It's just everything's timid. It's slow. It's not developed. And what's crazy is that we ran the football in Green Bay. We ran the hell out of the football. We had Eddie Lacy, Aaron Jones. We had some great running backs over there in Green Bay. And the fact that Aaron Rodgers is older, about to be 40 years old, why are you guys not running the football?
Yeah.
Why are you not running the football? Take the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands and only use Aaron Rodgers when you need him. Right?
Yeah, so, because clearly he can't do what you need him to do. So you're gonna have to play a more conservative brand of ball and let him do, you know, certain things when it's necessary, like you said. Yeah.
Make the play when it's third and 4, right? Third and 3. Because we're running the freaking football, right? We're tiring the defense out. We're letting them load up the box. Now Aaron Rodgers can go over the top. He got Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson, right? They're going to get one-on-ones now. Like, run the freaking football, man. I just don't understand it. But anyway, they got curb stomp.
On the other side of that, I know it's sexy to talk about the Jets and what Aaron Rodgers isn't doing, but Kyler Murray is not lighting the world on fire, but playing well. Yep. And the Cardinals, even though they're up and down, they're still 6-4. And I believe they're on top of the AFC West. So
that is correct.
You've got that going on. So yeah, it's another interesting situation. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but we'll see.
No, you're absolutely right. Arizona 6-4, San Fran 5-4. So they got a game lead, playing more. I think they haven't had their bye week yet. But
no, they played 10 games.
Yeah, they look good, man. They look good today.
Right, they look good at times.
They look good today.
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, that is the full wrap up, guys.
Wrap up.
That is every single game. We did not miss one. That is correct.
Tomorrow night, the schedule for this week ends with the Dolphins and the Rams. Could be interesting. Like we said, this is even though the record isn't great, this is a different Dolphins team with Tua at the helm.
Correct.
We have both acknowledged that, and the Rams are fighting for their future this season. So yeah, it should be interesting. We'll see what's going on.
I think it's going to be a shootout. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be like the Ravens and Bengals, but I'm expecting high 20s from both teams, man. You got Kyron and Siren, go Irish. Got to turn my phone off because now I'm seeing Irish stuff in my Facebook feed. But you got Tyreek Hill on the other side. You got crazy weapons on both. Jalen Waddle.
H-Chan.
You got H-Chan. And then on the other side, you got freaking Cooper Kupp. You got Puka Nacua.
That's right.
So you got receivers on receivers. You got running backs on running backs. Matt Stafford. Tagovailoa. It should be a shootout. I'm expecting a great game. Right?
No doubt.
That's what we got, brother.
That's what we got, man. All right. Well, we're going to leave it right there. Thanks to everybody who joined us tonight. I hope you enjoyed a great Sunday, another great Sunday of NFL football. And if you're a college football fan, hope you enjoy college football as well. Tuesday night is the release of the second college football playoff ranking, so look out for that. And later on this week, you'll definitely get another college football podcast from myself and Ryan Langford. So, yep. Stay tuned in, man. Stay tuned in. And, of course, Wednesday night, we'll be back with our normal show.
Yes, sir. And if you guys are veterans, know any veterans, family of veterans, happy Veterans Day today. It is 12:58. So happy Veterans Day to all my veterans out there. Happy salute to you, Bruce. Haven't served with you, but we served. So that's all that matters, brother.
That's right, brother. All right. And we'll leave it here. And we out. Peace.